Here. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. I am currently 36 weeks plus 4 days pregnant, but I wanted to come on and give an update on what kind of happened over the last 2 weeks. So this is going to be more like a 34, 35 week update, and tomorrow or the next day, I'll try to space it a little bit, I'll do a 36 week update to keep you guys posted until baby comes. I'm definitely going to do at least one video a week until the baby comes to keep you guys updated on all the changes and stuff that have been going on with me. So where to start? The reason I haven't been doing videos, I should probably just share, I didn't want to on YouTube, but now that everything has kind of settled and we know what's going on, starting in April, kind of when I weaned from doing videos, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and through that, we found out she had to have surgery and all that. We found out it was stage 3, and she just started her chemotherapy, and she'll have radiation following that. So I have been emotionally dealing with that. So that's where I've been. I just needed a break. I'm sure you all can understand that. So prayers are appreciated, but I just kind of wanted to give a little explanation because it kind of annoys me when all of a sudden somebody just disappears from YouTube and they don't give any explanation at all, and you wonder if something happened to them, if they're okay and all that. But I just have been dealing with that. So yeah, now I will go on with what has been going on with me. So I decided not to do the glucose test this pregnancy. My midwife wasn't really pushy about it. She said, not a big deal. I've already had 2 pregnancies and my glucose test was fine. And like in Canada, they only do 1 glucose test during your first pregnancy, and that's it. If you have like 6 babies afterwards, you don't have to get another glucose test. So for any of the other pregnancies. So I was like, oh, okay. My mom has a glucose monitor, so I figured I would just kind of check up on it every once in a while. Well, we discussed this at like 28 weeks, and I hadn't checked it or anything by 34 weeks. And I started kind of feeling off. I don't know, I was kind of feeling like hot flashy, like my pulse was racing a little bit, like not really lightheaded, but I don't know, I just felt off, couldn't really catch my breath, that kind of stuff. And I'm sure it was just my overexpanding belly or something, your uterus growing up and stuff. But so I went up to my mom's and I asked her for her glucose monitor and checked my blood sugar, and it was fine. She also had a blood pressure cuff. It was one of the wrist ones, so I checked it. Well, she checked it for me, and it was like outrageous. Like I don't even know what it was, like 160 something over 100, or I don't know. It was scary. So I was like, okay, and she's like got me all flipped out, like, you need to go to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. So I took a little bit of time. I'm like, that was probably inaccurate. So I took a little bit of time and relaxed, and then I tried it myself, and it was 188 over 118. And so then I started to get a little bit worried, but I thought, okay, there's something wrong. I think that I would feel a little lightheaded or something if my blood pressure was that high, but that would explain the way that I was feeling. So we have a nurse who goes to our church, and I ended up stopping at our church, and it was like on a Sunday, and I asked him to check my blood pressure for me, and it was like 126 over 84, something like that. It was a little high for me, but probably just because I had that scare, my blood pressure probably did raise a little bit, so no big deal. And I decided to take the glucose monitor home with me and check my blood sugar over the next couple of days. I did fasting in the morning. I did my morning one, before I ate, and then my blood sugar an hour after meals and stuff, and it was perfect. So no issues there, but had a nice little scare. So that was like 34-ish weeks, somewhere in there. Well, right the day that I turned 35 weeks, a friend of mine threw a baby shower for me at our church. So I went to that, and I took the kids with me, and Ryder was my 18-month-old, was like super, super clingy and super fussy and just not like him at all. So, you know, the whole time I'm just like carrying him around, and I'm not used to it. I mean, I'm used to carrying, you know, my 18-month-old, but it was quite ridiculous. Like, he would not let me put him down. Something was not right, and I assumed that he was teething because his like canine teeth were definitely like puffed up and stuff. So I thought he was just cutting a couple of teeth through and was just really unhappy. So I just let him, you know, stay glued to me. Well, I got home after that a couple hours later, and he felt a little bit warm to me, and I thought maybe just low-grade fever from teething, or just because he worked himself up, he just felt a little bit warm. Well, about an hour or so later, I checked his temperature, and it was like 102 something. And normally I'm not, you know, big on medicine. I just let fevers run their course as long as they are in a range that I feel comfortable with. I feel that it's best to just let the fever do its job. But he was obviously very, very uncomfortable, and I just could not leave him like that. So I did give him some medicine, and he calmed down and stuff. But I dealt with this for over 48 hours, and he was just constant, clingy, just needed mom nonstop. He actually quit nursing at 16 and a half months, and maybe, you know, he might have nursed like a handful of times in between 16 and a half months and 18 months, but he actually started asking for it and stuff. I mean, he was just totally different baby through this, so I was just exhausted taking care of him and stuff. Well, so this started Friday night. It lasted all day Saturday, all day Sunday. We ended up missing church Sunday morning because of it. And we decided to go to church Sunday night. My husband was working, but I took the kids, and I went. And at church, I felt not too great. My stomach was kind of crampy and stuff, while I ended up having to go to the bathroom, and my body just kind of like cleaned itself out. And I thought that was kind of strange, you know, where did that come from? Did I eat something that upset my stomach or what? Well, I got home and put the kids to bed, and I drank some Natural Calm, which is magnesium, and it just relaxes your body, and I drink that sometimes before bed, and it helps with like cramps and just your nervous system to just relax and stuff. So I drank that and went to bed around midnight. I woke up at 4 a.m. having a dream that I was in labor, and it was really strange because I did wake up at 4 a.m. in labor with Ryder, and it was like deja vu. Well, I went pee, and I sat down on the toilet, and I realized that I was having a contraction. But sometimes, I don't know if anybody else has ever felt like this, but sometimes when I'm laying down and your bladder gets full, it's like everything gets overstretched and it moves up. So when you do pee, you can actually feel your bladder and your uterus like lowering again, and it's just kind of an uncomfortable feeling, and I don't know, it's just weird, hard to describe. Maybe I'm the only person who feels that way, but yeah, so it felt different to me, so I just thought, oh, that kind of hurt, you know, so I laid back down in bed, and I realized I was having contractions and not Braxton Hicks, and I was like, whoa, what is going on here? So I got up and I came downstairs and watched TV for a little bit because I could not sleep, and I downloaded like a contraction monitor type thing, and they were coming every 1 to 3 minutes apart, and I was like, wow, okay. After about an hour of that, I was on Facebook, and I saw that my midwife's assistant was online, so I just kind of shot her a message, and I didn't want to get anybody worked up. You know, it was the middle of the night. I figured, you know, it was a false alarm. I did not want to work people up for no reason. So I just asked her, you know, what can I do? I am only, you know, at the time 35 weeks, 2 days. What can I do to, you know, relax? I'm not up doing anything. I just want these contractions to stop. And she said to drink a, you know, big glass of water, which I was already doing, have some more Natural Calm, and I did, but I really didn't think that would work because I already drank some before bed. And get a warm bath, which our bathtub is upstairs, and I didn't want to wake the kids up, so I just got a hot shower downstairs, and let the water beat on my back, because the contractions were actually like, it was like a period cramps, but for me, I've always had really bad period cramps, so, you know, it was pretty intense feeling, not intense like transition labor or anything, but they were definitely contractions and they were uncomfortable. But it was all the way in my back, and I've never had back labor, and it really, really hurt. Like, my back just felt like it was seized right up and just would not relax. So I got in the shower and just tried to get that to relax. So I'm obviously thinking, oh no, when I do go into labor, I'm going to have back labor and this is going to be awful, blah, 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 blah. So I hope that I don't have back labor. Please, please pray that I don't have back labor. So I get out of the shower, and it's probably like, 5:30 a.m. And I lay down on the couch and I'm watching TV and stuff, and just trying to relax, still monitoring them. They're still coming every 1 to 3 minutes apart. Last time I remember seeing what time it was about 6:30, and my husband was going to be getting home from work at 7, so I just waited as long as I could. Well, I must have dozed off, because at about 10 after 7 he walked in and he startled me, and he immediately knew something was wrong just by looking at me. So I didn't really want to tell him, because I didn't want him to get all flipped out, but I did end up telling him, what had happened, and he was a little bit concerned. But I said I was fine. I said obviously they stopped because I had fallen asleep, and I was just laying there. I didn't feel anything, so I got up off the couch and I was talking with them, and as soon as I got up, they immediately started again, but they were slower this time. They were averaging about every 5 to 7 minutes apart, but they would be anywhere from 1 to 10 minutes apart. I never had more than a 10-minute gap, and some of them were super close together. So that started probably about 7:30, maybe a little bit before then, and around 10:30, my husband said, why don't you go lay down and relax for a while, because they weren't getting any closer together, but they were not subsiding. They were just, staying at basically 5 to 7 minutes apart, 1 to 10 minutes apart, somewhere in there. I mean, it was just kind of weird. So I laid down, which he had just worked a 12-hour shift, a night 12-hour shift, and had been home for a while. He'd been up for like 18 hours or so. I thought it was so incredibly sweet that he had me go lay down, and he stayed up with the kids and watched them. And I laid down, and I remember laying there for like 20-30 minutes, and it just was not going away. And then all of a sudden I was out, because I woke up about noon and I felt much better, and I have not had a contraction since then. So, excuse me. I had a fun, like 6 to 8 hour labor experience, which was all in my back, pretty much. I'm hoping that is not what's going to happen when the big day comes, but once I kind of explained what happened to my midwife, she thought that it was really strange that my labor actually stopped. She said it sounded like, from me going to the bathroom at church and then things starting in the middle of the night, that my body was actually doing exactly like it was going into labor. So, yeah, but she couldn't believe that it stopped. We were thankful that it stopped, because at that point I was only 35 weeks, 2 days, and I would not have been able to have a home birth, which was making me really nervous. I didn't want to go to a hospital. I was scared I'd have to have a C-section and all that stuff. I mean, of course we'd go if we had to, but I just, I'd prefer not to. But now at this point I am 36, almost 37 weeks, so if I were to go into labor, I can have a home birth now, and she can attend, so that's good. But I'm hoping baby hangs out for about another week, that'd be nice, or so. I mean, I had both my boys at 39 weeks, but who's to say that that'll happen? I just saw Lucy Eads had all 3 of her first babies at 37 weeks, and then this last one at almost 42 weeks, so you never know what could happen. I do kind of think that this baby's going to be early, but you never know, just because I think that does not mean that that's going to happen. But for weeks now, I've lost parts of my mucus plug. Baby's like a lot lower now. My hips and stuff are definitely very uncomfortable. They pop while I'm sleeping, and my body's just definitely preparing. You can feel it, but maybe it's just because it's my third baby, and my body's like, we know what's going on here. You know, I got this. So I don't know, but that is what happened during week 35. I just had a midwife appointment yesterday. So probably tomorrow I will do my 36-week update. I kind of want to space these out a little bit for you, so maybe it'll be Thursday instead of tomorrow, but I definitely will be consistent with my videos now that baby is coming soon and keep you all updated. I do have a video from my baby shower, like all the gifts and stuff that I got that I'd like to upload, but I haven't quite figured out my new computer yet, so that's why I'm doing this on my phone. It's just quicker. So yeah, that's it. I guess I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.